I need to hear from those of you in chat who are not currently Warhammer 40K fans, okay? I have shown you guys, I have like the display cases, I have all the models, I have, oh God, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, Jesus. I have 5 armies, okay? It's bad. It's real bad. I need help. This is me asking for help. So I like Warhammer. I need to know from those of you out there who are not Warhammer 40K fans what you think of this. Because I feel that this game it kind of sells itself. I think it looks super epic and crazy. It has a very unique art style you've probably recognized from other stuff. I mean, the big servo skulls, you probably recognize that. The Warhammer logo, of course. The Space Marines are very iconic, so you probably recognize the armor sets and everything. This is a game that's coming out later this year, and I think the gameplay looks pretty compelling. I think graphically it looks pretty good. The set pieces look really good. But do you, as somebody who is not a Warhammer fan, do you find this also interesting? Does this also tickle your fancy? Just swarms and swarms of Tyranids. They've shown some like Thousand Suns. I think Terminators is what they showed. It's not in this trailer, I don't think, but they've shown some Thousand Suns characters and stuff. So they're going to have some more chaos forces, but I think it looks compelling. And you can do co-op up to 3 total players, not 3 other players, which is kind of an interesting number. I mean, most co-op games go to 4. It feels like that's just the standard people have settled on. The choice to have 3 is interesting. I'm guessing they've delayed it for performance because a lot of these, like, it was supposed to be out this winter, meaning like a month or 2 ago, but they delayed it. And I think it's because performance probably has been a little rough. I mean, you can see this drops into like the 20s, the mid 20s. And so it starts chugging a good bit when there's a lot of enemies on the screen. So I think that that's probably why they delayed it. But I mean, they delayed it basically a year. And so that means that we get an even better and very polished version of the game I'm in. They also dropped this gameplay trailer, which I think, you know, they show some big set pieces and combat and stuff. Let me go to the big collapsing bell tower. Stuff like this, I think sells the game to people who are not even familiar with Warhammer. People love big explosions and set pieces. People love it. They eat it up. Gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble. So I think the game looks really good. And this is technically, I mean, it's coming from Focus Entertainment. Focus Entertainment has done well with, like, they did Banishers. They did, of course, Plague Tale Innocence and Plague Tale Requiem. So they've had some really successful games kind of in this same area. I love that tank just drives through them. They're not usually like 10 out of 10s. They're not going to win like Game of the Year most likely, but they usually are a good value. They're worth their price tag, and they're just kind of fun. They're not trying to push for like the game awards first and foremost. They're just going for like that good old AA feeling of fun. You see they're just mowing them down as they charge in. That's classic Warhammer right there. But I love the set pieces. I love the environmental design. It's crazy. It's crazy. Kind of Gears of War vibes. Technically, Warhammer is what inspired Gears of War. So, like, probably very tangentially, to be fair. I mean, the idea of a large-than-life dude fighting waves of weird alien-looking creatures, that isn't that novel of an idea. But Warhammer started that in, like, the 80s. And they probably weren't the first, to be fair, but they're probably one of the most recognizable ones to do it. The only potential thing I could see that starts to get old is maybe combat gets really repetitive if it's just fighting waves and waves of enemies. But I think if they did big boss fights or bigger encounters with some big hefty boys, that could do well. As long as the game is fun, it doesn't matter if the game looks good or not. True. Gears of Warhammer. Yeah. Check out Darktide if this looks interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Darktide is like the similar kind of horde shooter that Helldivers can kind of get into and start to feel like, but it's a little bit more cinematic on the dev side of things, it's less player generated cinematic feelings, but that's also a very good game. Absolutely. Dark Tide's very good. Let's see. As a noob who's overwhelmed by the lore, the game looks good, and I'm excited for Henry Cavill's Warhammer TV series. Yeah, dude, looks pretty good. I've not played any Warhammer, but when I saw this trailer, I got excited. Yeah. They did Atlas Falling. They published Atlas Fallen. Yeah. If I said they made those games, I misspoke. They published those games. So I just want to be clear about that. Firing into a swarm of hundreds of monsters doesn't sound that interesting, but it sure looks good when you do it. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I see what you mean.
He took my thing.